Good morning. Welcome to Certex. We're delighted to have you on board as a new client. Many of our new clients have never been certified before and have never been through an audit. It can be a bit intimidating at first, but hopefully over the many years that we'll be working together, we'll get to know each other and you'll feel more comfortable with the audits and confident in the knowledge that we're on your side and have your best interests at heart. I'm sure you have many questions. These may be some of them. This presentation is about how we'll be working together. What are the steps in achieving and maintaining certification? And we'll answer these questions. My name is Dianne Gibert. I'm the Managing Director and founder of Certex International. We're an accredited certification body for the main ISO standards, but the main purpose of what we do is help businesses reduce their risk and increase revenue. We do this by assessing their risks in areas such as workplace health and safety, privacy, employment law, information security, and more, which gives the business the opportunity to address and reduce these risks. After this, the business can seek certification so they can demonstrate to their market that they are compliant and reliable. And with that, they have a much greater chance of winning tenders and seats on panels. This is what we're aiming for. So how can this happen? 4 steps. The first is the application. Probably you've already accepted our proposal, and this webinar is part of the support information we offer you. Then you get to do the preparation. This can be a big or a modest task. It all depends on where you're starting from. When you're ready, we then conduct the certification audit. This is always in 2 stages. The first stage is to check you're ready for the second stage. If you aren't ready, then we give feedback on what's missing, and we may do the first stage again. Stage 1 is designed to be short and inexpensive and repeatable. Stage 2 is the one you don't want to fail. Then, once certified, we have the surveillance audits, usually annual but can be more frequent, and a recertification in every 3rd year. Let's go through each step in detail. The application. First, you would have applied. Based on the size, risk and complexity of your organisation, we develop an audit program which we set out in the proposal. We don't know you yet, so the proposal is a bit of a stab in the dark. If we find out we should have more or less time to ensure an effective audit, the program might change, but we'd always let you know if this happens. You accept the proposal, we send you the deposit invoice and contracts which you respond to. We enter your details into our system, give you access to OneHub, and share with you the webinars and checklists. As you would no doubt already be aware, we cannot advise you or give you consulting support because that would conflict with our role as independent auditors. But we can share general information with you and explain what we look for in the audits. And we'll always help you as much as we can, so never hesitate to call us with questions. Looking now at the application form, just a quick mention. When we sent you the proposal, we also sent you the information pack. Some useful information is in there. You may want to refer to it if ever you need to change the audit date, lodge an appeal or something else. Another quick mention, the contract. First point, we've designed it so you only need sign the signature page once, and that becomes your acceptance of both the terms and conditions and the conditions around using the certification mark. The terms and conditions are pretty standard, although I do want to mention a couple of things in a minute. The use of the certification mark is effectively permission for you to display the certification logo on all your marketing materials, websites, etc. And we encourage you to do this to promote your achievement as much as you like. But do be aware there are limitations on how you can use the logos. Now, the terms and conditions. Please read carefully, and if you have any questions, be in touch. The main point I want to raise is when you become a certified organisation, you will have certain obligations. These are set out in Section 4. Mostly Section 4 talks about giving us access, making sure the information is accurate, etc. But there are 3 things of note. First, we take the safety of our auditors very seriously and will ask you if there is anything we should be aware of when attending your sites. Please keep our auditors safe and let us know if there are any hazards. Second, you must let us know if anything changes in your organisation. well, not everything, but anything that could impact the scope or reliability of your certification or your contact details. And thirdly, if you're certified against 45,001, which is the safety standard, there are certain roles that must participate in the audit. And also you must let us know if ever a serious incident occurs. Think of it this way: by granting your organisation certification, Certex is saying, we've checked your systems, you have what is needed, and you are reliable. But of course, we only get to see you once a year. In between audits, we need to know if anything serious happens so that we can decide how best to manage your certification. Now, webinars and checklists. A range of webinars are available through our website. As our valued client, these are available to you at no cost. Just email us with a list of which ones you want access to. There are quite a number of different checklists available on OneHub too. Mostly, the second one on the list, the IMS one, is the best. And just as an FYI, all the policies on how we deliver certification services are available on OneHub. That's the first folder there. OneHub is also where you can access the certification logos or marks when you become certified. And there's various other information there as well. Okay, next step, that's preparation. How you prepare for the audits is totally up to you, but it may look something like this. Start with reading the standard. It may seem obvious, but can be overlooked. Then, check what you already have and where there are gaps. The checklists can be really helpful for this. We've developed the SPRCE approach, more on that in a minute. Then address those gaps. Perhaps your own processes need an update, and quite likely there'll be work to do on scope, document controls, internal audits, management reviews, non-conformances, and so on. Communicate, ensure awareness, demonstrate leadership, do all the things necessary to embed the system across the organisation. And those internal audits and management reviews, at least one of each, preferably more. Then, a final check that you have everything you need in place and call us to set some dates. By the way, can you see how these steps are laid out? You know probably that the Certex approach is all about the process approach. Well, have you recognised that these steps are set out using a process approach? One question in the FAQ is, how long the preparation can take. I usually say aim for 3 months. Anything longer and you risk losing momentum and turning this into a major change exercise, which is fine if that's what you want to get out of this, and some organisations do. But if you simply want to fix some gaps, do one or more internal audits and management reviews and get the certification, then 3 months is not an unreasonable target. But you shouldn't feel trapped by that. It's entirely up to you. Now, where to purchase the standards? The ISO standards are only available through the SAI Global website. The Talent Engagement Standard is available on the website by that name. Links to both are here. Now, I don't want to go through this SPRCE approach now. That's the subject of another webinar, which I recommend to you. But I will say that we developed this approach as an alternative to adopting the clause structure of the standard. Do not adopt the clause structure of the standards. That's not how you run your business. That's a structure for a standard. The checklists, which are available on the OneHub secured portal, follow the SPRCE approach, and this IMS checklist is a really good one. Now, are you ready for the certification audits? We'll work out a plan for the audit with dates, approximate times, areas to be audited, and so on. And then your auditor will contact you to talk through the audit plan, check you're okay to upload the documents to OneHub, check your address and requirements you might have while they're at your workplace, that kind of thing. Most audits will require you to upload files so we can review them. This is, of course, really important for remote audits, but also for certain other audits such as the 27001 information security. Even if the audit is on site, having a chance to review your documents before we speak to you can make everything flow so much better. The stage 1 audit is perhaps a half a day or a bit less. The auditor will check that the key requirements are in place. your scope, your internal audits, management reviews, that you understand the standard, and so on. The outcome of this is to determine if you're ready to proceed to stage 2. You'll get a report with findings and a list of gaps to be addressed, and if there are a lot of gaps, perhaps it's best to arrange a second stage 1. Maybe we'll push the date of the stage 2 audit out a bit to give you more time to prepare. Usually the stage 2 can be anything from 1 week to 12 weeks out from stage 1. Now, the stage 2 audit can take 1 to 3 or even more days, depending on the size of your organisation and the number of standards you are seeking certification in. Usually, this audit is done on site, and at this audit, the auditor will require access to all parts of your business that are included in the intended scope of certification. That's all your personnel, sites, equipment, systems, documentations, and so on. Now, the audit is a sampling exercise, so we don't actually need to cite every particular item. The audit plan helps guide this. I should also mention that the audits are evidence-based, so we'll need to cite records and make our own observations of situations and activities. At the end of the audit, at the closing meeting, the auditor will give you their immediate feedback and recommendation and explain any non-conformances if they've been issued. You can have non-conformances and still be certified. I'll explain more in a bit. The auditor will write up their report and make their recommendation. This goes to the certification panel for review and approval, after which you'll receive your certificate and certification mark. We'll also record your new certification status on a couple of registers. The auditor will take you through all of this at the debriefing, but now let me show you what some of this might look like. Start with the audit plan. It's pretty straightforward. OneHub is where you can upload your files into the CoDocs folder, please. A request: if you upload a long list of files, and especially if you use subfolders, please give us a list of what is where. Trying to find a file and information within a file can be very time-consuming and frustrating, and that's not a good thing to put your auditor through right at the start. The report will be a description of findings, including a description of your organisation and its activities, of your management system, evidence of compliance, as well as any non-conformances. Now, as I said, you can still be certified if you get a non-conformance at this stage, but there are conditions. If you're given minor non-conformances, then you'll need to prepare a plan for corrective action, which we'd review and accept before we can certify you. If you're given major non-conformances, then these must be corrected, and we need to verify this before you can be certified. Depending on the nature of the non-conformity, you may be given 4 to 12 weeks to resolve. Otherwise, we may need to do the entire stage 2 audit again, and if there are lots of non-conformances, that might also be the case. Your certificate will look something like this. The logo on the top right is your certification mark that you can put onto your marketing materials and website. Best you don't put your certificate on your website, as it could be fraudulently duplicated, and this has actually happened. Include your certificate in your tender submissions though, but if you want to verify your certification status, you can refer to the register on the Certex website. Also, your certification will be entered into the JASANS register. What is JASANS, you ask? It's the semi-government body which oversees and authorises bodies like Certex to provide certification services. They audit us. The terminology is that you are certified, we are accredited. The final step, you're now fully certified and will start the 3-year cycle of annual surveillance audits and a recertification in every 3rd year. I mentioned the non-conformances just before. There is another webinar with information on how to address these. Keep your management system going. You should find that it provides an excellent framework for making and capturing changes. And of course, improvements, this is what it's all about. Promote your achievement and celebrate it internally. Becoming certified is a major achievement. Not all make it this far, and most businesses don't even try. This is your big differentiator in the market, and might be your ticket to a whole new market and revenue streams. Keep in touch with us. If you have questions or changes, advise us. You'll likely receive our newsletters throughout the year, and well in advance of the next audit, we'll contact you to set dates. Thank you for taking the time to learn about what the certification process with Certex is. We're looking forward to working with you.